I pay attention to every detail. And at this trophy house right here, you see the Aladdin's castle right there? You see these minus and plus signs by trophy house? You see the minus and the plus sign? At first I thought it was a Chevrolet sign, and then I was like, no, there's a plus and a minus sign. So across the street is Axis right here. And then North Bridge directly across the street from Trophy House that has the pluses and the minuses. Now, because I don't know how long this goddamn Trophy House been up here, but this is brick, right? And this is like Looney Tune Acme brick. You understand what I'm saying? And it has the pluses and the minus signs on here, on this particular building at Trophy House. Like I said, something ain't right, but I'm gonna point out something else. Hold on, give me a second. Symbol, you see how it look? Axis symbol, and this is the real T, group. You understand what I'm saying? So is X. You know what X is? Axis is because it's right next to 222. Again, right next to this street called Sycamore, and then Pender's Teddy Pender ass down music thing is over here. The radio thing is over here that says Light the Wick. And then what else over here? Let me show y'all. Mind you that this station 222. This is station 222. Now, not radio station now. The Eagle surveyor. The eagle that soar above water to the sea level you do not see, but you also see Valley Quest. You see it's a V. You see the access was upright. A, and then this is V, right? Y'all see that? All this shit matters. You hear me? And it's off of Sycamore, right? And Elm, Nightmare on Elm Street. And I made a video on Elm Street earlier, but hold on. When I cross the street, I'm gonna show y'all something. When I cross the street, you get this little, little Shrek thing, Fiona. That's what it's called. The F equals. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, I'll get to that. I'll break that down in a minute. And again, that's the radio thing that says Light the Wick on the back of it. And then next to Pender, Enders, Pen Enders, you know what I'm saying? Let me show y'all what this shit say on the building. Project Looking Glass your asses. They pretty much telling you, the access on your eyes and shit like that. But who am I? Since the plot is thickening and shit, you hear me? Because when you plot the zero on the motherfucking axis graph, zero means origin, like original. Okay, I'm done. The X is what chromosome, and the Y is what chromosome again? Like, come on, man. We ain't stupid. I see you. You try to bridge them together, on the north side, though, the Wicked Witch of the North and shit. And then put a trophy on that shit at the house? I can't. So that's what Penders look like. Pen Enders. Because they end in something. And it's an emergency. You hear me? The P with the hook and shit like that. Because, we're musical beings and shit like this. This is a musical. This is telling the story of the streetwalkers. And so at the end of this street is Stroud. Stroud. And then you see axe throwing. They so ignorant. So axe throwing is at the end of this, the end, of this street. You see the magic wand that he has in his hand? It's also on that sign up there, but you understand what I'm saying. So, the rod, we have to take the U out. You hear me? Anyway, since I'm a motherfucking monster, which is moon if you add the O, because I told you about the O's, right? And then star if you take, because you know what the E and the A is, right? Because you can switch that, you hear me? Because that's the spell. So moon, star, It's a monster, okay? Like Halloween. And it's a Halloween color, which is so happen to be my favorite color. Everybody keep telling me I'm dressed like a pumpkin and shit. So anyway, I was trying to say that I forgot now, shit. It was access, you know, because we're mathematical musical beings and stuff like that. Access, you know, when you're using math and everything, is the x axis and the y axis, and they also have a zero. You know the graphs that we used to do with math and shit like that, statistics and all that shit, calculus and all that shit. You know what I'm talking about? If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you. Streetwalker. I also got to point out, you know, this is the fat shack, but I'm talking about Jacks, because you know the Apple Jacks and shit like that. You know, they jacking us. Tavern is right across the street from Wisdom, because that's what they doing. They jacking, you hear me? The Wisdom, you hear me? Anyway, Weaver, you hear me? Not hair weaver, you know. Maybe spider web weaver, you know, or basket weaver or some shit. Wisdom, you know, the Wiz and shit like that, you know, because the Wiz, when Michael Jackson and Diana Ross, you know, said it best. You can't win, you can't break even if you can't get out of the game. Anyway, hold on, because I ain't done. EA motherfucking sports and shit, you know, switching up the A's and the E's and everything. You hear me what I'm saying? You know, since Earth's access, you know, pretty much is a coordinate. You know, if you read the definition of what access means and shit, you know, it said Earth's access. Like, and the fact that, you know, access used to be EAX, you know, because they X'ing out some shit, you know, maybe the R for Earth and shit, and turned it into a T type shit. You hear me what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is this? You know, because I tell you, I be hearing shit. You hear me? and sometimes it's mean, and I be trying to be nice and shit like that. You hear me? I be trying to be nice and stuff. You know, all this shit has, you see how it's red and white? What's that? That look weird. They put an outline to this. What is it? It says it's a water meter. That's what it say. But it's on the hill right here. Since we always going to Puerto Rico, black people and shit. You hear me? This is crazy as hell. Anyway, at the end of this motherfucking street is pick one. You know, one. Because you got to pick one, motherfucker. You hear me? And then celebration. See, celebration now. You see the control towers? You see them? 1, 2. You hear me? Celebration. Anyway. And I got to point out that this is on the corner of Maple, because the map, which if you go all the way down Maple, you get to the motherfucking cemetery, which is IOOF. You hear me? With the police and shit, because you know every time I make a discovery, some shit always happen with the popo, right? Anyway, if you go all the way down this motherfucking street, you get to IOOF, which is Independent Order of Odd Fellas Cemetery. Now, at the end of, on the other side, clearly it's the celebrations shit, because you know, when you, oh my God, I can't. Oh my God. You know, this is trilogy because, you know, shit happened in 3 and stuff like that. Tattoo. Right? So anyway, let me now get to the point of this video. So as I was walking over here, because I always have to end it with this. You hear me? As I was walking over here, I looked at the word Halloween, which is a sign over there off of Corn Kits building that says Denton Halloween. So I looked at Denton and I'm like, Den, D-E-N, like this is the den, right? And then I said ton. I said, oh, then what about the O? You know what I'm saying? I'm forgetting the O type of shit, because you know that's what they removed out that shit, you know, the book and everything, the pen book, you hear me? So I put the O there, and that's tune. So Den Tune. Y'all. And you know, tune has several meanings if it's, you know, with a U and an N, an E. You understand? That's musical and shit. Because, you know, I told you we'd be hearing shit and everything. But I also meant it by Acme Brick Looney Tune. So Acme, A-C-M-E. It's a brick place that is off of Londonderry in Acme. You hear me? And, you know, this is the motherfucking cartoon. So I just put another, I added a 0 to the motherfucking Denton, because I was like, this is Denton Tune. You know what I'm saying? This is the cartoon and shit like that, you know? Car tune. You hear me? Because every time a car passed my motherfucking ass, it say some shit on the car or the truck or the van or whatever on the license plate. Because that's the VIN number, the SSC and the ISSC, the pirate shit, whatever the fuck number is on there. You understand what I'm saying? The V number. You hear me? Anyway.